All right. Bonsoir tout le monde.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing good. It's a nice Wednesday night in July, so we'll try to go through it.
Particular instruction for you if you can mute your mic other than when you want to speak. Apparently, it helps with the sound quality. So, merci.
Thank you.
Donc,
So, welcome to the special meeting of July 12th. So,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay. When I attempt to get my video for a photo, and not that you need to see me, but what it tells me is that the host has disabled the video. But I'll go back to just the audio, and as you requested, I will mute that until such time as I want to speak. But that means I won't hear. Does that mean I won't hear the other conversations?
You should be able to hear. Oh, yeah. And if you want to do that raise hand, I can see that on the screen. So that'll let me know that you want to speak on whichever point.
Okay.
Sounds
But
good?
otherwise, even though you can't see me, I should be able to hear the conversation.
All right. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
I'll mute my mic now.
Perfect. Donc,
So,
pour commencer la réunion,
to start with the meeting, translation is available. I will just give my little speak. I would like to mention that we are gathered on the traditional unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq First Nation. As
donc, j'ai seulement besoin d'une
I only need like a resolution a motion. To open call the meeting to order. So Mr. Clerk, we do have like the quorum, but your disclosure of conflict of interest. Any members who would like to declare any conflict of interest on the items on the agenda?
Merci.
Seeing none, thank you.
Adoption de l'ordre du jour.
Adoption of the agenda. So you have the agenda in front of you. So I move by Councillor Boudreau, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sylvie Colette Boudreau. So that's the Boudreau team. All those in favor saying aye, against nay, carried. Thank you. In terms of motion and resolution, it's for the multi-sport service and the contract. As what said during the last meeting, we decided to table like the motion. So the same motion is coming back to us. It's already been moved and seconded, like to award the contract. So that's a decision like for this evening. But some council members, like at the last meeting, they wanted to get like some information on the possible roof. So we're able to gather this information and give them in our package. I don't know, Mr. McEwen, would you like just at least to give you like the main topic? So we approach the consultant in Globe and we ask for a price like for a roof that would be built outside like the existing surface. So it would cover and go on, and it would above those the surface. It would be metal like with lighting, like a pre-inch structure. So they came back with a quote. So we received the quote in July. So with the HST, net HST for this solution. So the clause D would 1.7,800,000. 1.7,008,000. So at least we're able to do this research. So thank you very much. So you have the opportunity to review it. I know there was another item we would like to discuss on the same matter. Councillor Germain, I see you had your brain. I spoke with Réal at the town, and Réal did the, seemed there was one, like, there was something that could remove, like, water and the ice. You see, like, the bigger ones, like I got prices for bigger one, and I think Paul got it, Peter, and it was still low. It was $100,000, like, for almost a Cadillac style. Réal showed, like, the pictures you have. It was what it can do for us. I just wanted to show this to you to say it could be done, like, to remove water on the instead of investing 1.6 million on the roof. Like, I'm not want to discourage anyone, like, to demolish it and redo. That's what Roger wants to. It's just another option. I just wanted to show, like, it might work. It will have to be more than a machine. It has to be a big machine, a great big machine. So we saw it, like, I saw one also, like, you were pushing, and one like you're driving on. Probably bigger and more volume, I would imagine. Thank you. Anything? Yeah, I think that's it. I will allow some, accept some comments, but we will still vote on the motion to accept, like, the quote of Camille Lejar. So that's what the vote will be on today. Do we accept and go forward as Englobe, like, to build the slab? If we reject it, well, we will have to do something else that might be what you were talking about. Councillor Paul, just want to take a couple of minutes just to give my perspective on this job, because I was on the committee at the big day with Mr. Roger and Mr. Cormier, and we decided also the location also, and even for concrete, for this type of nature, it's a perspective a little bit more, because I was there at the beginning. So I will vote. So when it comes to the vote, I will go, like, respect, like, council members, and always do it. Just to start, like, a recreation, like, as Germain mentioned, so when there is a recreation activity, and Julie is there, so the role of the town is to meet, like, the needs of the clients. So this installation, as the festival, if you have an activity going on, the organizer, like, they approach the town, like, so the installation be safe and operational. But to my knowledge, I gave the list, like, to the department, what they need, like, in terms of manpower and equipment. So that's how it should work. Like, an example is the festival. So the organizer, like, they give the list, that's how it works. So this one here is similar. I was on the side that you build it and redo when I saw the prices. I thought with the 300,000, it's like 600,000. So it's difficult, 800,000. And I congratulate Bob and his team, like, at least to find prices for a roof. At least we can make an informed decision. I went to this installation last week, and I can share with you, there's still a lot of work to be done. Even before we take the decision to go forward to demolish it or rebuild. I don't have the cost. I will leave it to demonstration. So the access road, I don't know if you went there. The access road would need a lot of work to be done. So I don't know what the cost would be, but I know, like, there's no use for ball hockey, but baseball is there now. And the parking, there's not even some parking. So the turf, like, there's no, like, a parking either, like, for the rink or baseball. There's no sign. Eventually, we will need a sign to identify what it is. It could cost me 4,000 or 5,000. I have no idea, like, the administration. There's no, like, carpet in dressing room, so nothing. Like, eventually, like, those carpets and expensive in the arena, we have 6 dressing rooms, and we have specific, like, carpet for skates, and the surface is not finished between, like, the dress rooms and the ice surface. I don't know how much it would cost. Some work needs to be done. There would be a lot of work. There's no benches. No benches at all. No Penentel bench. I don't know how much. So these are additional costs. Sponsorships, well, there were a lot, like, to put, like, ads on the borders. Like we need like to prepare it to install some nets will have to be installed like on the fence each side of the post and nets. I don't want to be negative, like just the fact it's additional stuff. No washroom, no sports equipment. So it would last maybe $1,000 for a net, like a hockey net. We need 4, so it could cost $4,000 or $5,000 for that. I think what we need to make it operational. And at very last, as Councillor Sherman said, I'm a great believer to buy some equipment to remove the water on the surface. So that's the social grade. So, but the inconvenience is there is water. So if we need like, so if we can get the equipment with Julie's department staff, we would be able like to operate this installation very efficiently. So if it's heavy rainfall, there won't be any activities anyway. So I will let the other council members to express themselves. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Boudreau. Once again, like we tend like to. You're too far from the mic. Make sure to talk like the mic. It helps also Harry and also the translator. Just human nature. Councillor Roland Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will continue like with the 2 colleagues as they just commented. I agree like with their comments. Yes, we had the $300,000 budget, and we are. If we go with the rules, like it would be 1.6 million is completely ridiculous, my opinion. But I think it's important to know. Thanks, Bob, like to bring those numbers. But at least we know, like with decision in front of you, like if it became with $450,000, well, 1.6 million is quite expensive. I think we have a great infrastructure. If we can find like the equipment, so we'll ask Julie, like they go on the detractor and do it, like so I could do like a volunteer work, like so we still have like a big projects like in front of us. As you know, like the council, we're looking like at to expand like the fire station. So this one, it's not a want, it's a need. And the want and a need, in my opinion, it's very different. So this is a want, and we already have it, it's paid. So if we can invest $150,000 and purchase his Zamboni and all the things Paul mentioned, it might be a better investment. But if we see it doesn't work, well, we'll make another decision. But there's a lot of people, they put like financial effort, so nothing was identified. So that's what I heard, like from the citizens, like people invested money and they were promised that they would get some advertisement on this, and it's being dormant. So I think that, well, the minister didn't look too good because we committed to do this, and we're still there. And the checks came in. It's not that they did not came in, to my opinion. So, Mr. Mayor, I think the decision I would have a hard time to support like a roof. I would be open like to buy like a machine, a piece of equipment, like try to solve this issue as soon as possible. So, well, thank you very much. So I can take a better decision, like with the information I have, at least for the decision on the table. Next one, thank you, Councillor Cormier. Councillor Patricia, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I agree, like with everyone saying it to me, the solution was always like an outdoor like installation. So the roof, well, the only thing like the lane that's it's already a problem. It's not dangerous like for youth. No, not at this point. It's just like people's safety. She's speaking far from the mic. Thank you. Next one, Councillor Peter Bourgeois. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I asked for the rules. Thank you for the information. So I thought it was information to get this information. So following the last meeting, probably some of you, like people, like called because of this. And they talk about like a piece machine, and the machine is available like to do this work. It's like an ice surface in the during the winter. Like before playing, you need like to use the Zamboni. If it rains, as Councilor Boudreau said, doesn't mean like it will be raining every time there's a game or tournament. If it happens, well, the equipment will be there, and I think it's a very good alternative. Like compare like to spend like more like for a room, like and we might still have a problem with water. Thank you for what you did, Councillor Emile O'Brien. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a couple of things I would like to say. So the first thing, like with the vacuum, because I was there like with Roger Galland a couple of days, there were 2 inches of water like on the surface. And the vacuum that is there, it will not do the job. You cannot like pick up 2 inches of water like with a surface like 100 by 200 feet long. So it cannot be done. So I don't know who came up with this idea with the vacuum. I knew it doesn't come from an engineer. I don't think it's come from our boss. I just want to say another thing. I got an email from the committee life director that was sent to all the council members, and it's apparent in their email like she's not aware of the project, because by looking at the surface as it is now, we cannot have an ice surface in winter because the thickness of the ice will obstruct like but the multi-sport surface is the goal to have too many sports. So her second comment. We have to remind you like the goal of the surface was for ball hockey, and not like a winter like surface. So this comment tells me that she's not aware of the project. So why we're receiving this email, it's one of the councillors would transfer it. No. I knew it was coming from you, but Julie sent it. So the comment she made, well, it's true, like it's not true. Mr. CEO, I would like just to bring some specification. It was discussed like around like the council table more than once, like, and as long there's no like borders around like around the existing structure, it would be difficult like to make some ice in the winter. It doesn't make it's impossible, but if there's no borders around it, like to keep the water inside so it freezes, that's where the problem is. Like that's why I wanted to communicate, because the boards as they are placed now, like they're right on the cement. There's no borders like for a few inches. So if there was some ice, you wouldn't be able, like it wouldn't stay. Like, so this border, I've only been here for 4 months. It's at least twice. Like we've been talking about this border going around. Like that's what wasn't there. So that's why, like, when we were mandated, like, to look to contact the engineer to prepare, like, the code, like, to replace the surface. 2 things we said that had to be added were drains and the border, like, around it, like, so we could have ice in the winter. I just wanted to be clear, because it's not the first time it's mentioned, like, at the council table. And I had a meeting with Mr. Roger Galland. He gave me a letter, so I'll read it exactly like he wrote it. It will start with, a few days ago, I had a discussion with Mr. Roger Galland from the organizing committee of the multi-sport survey. And now we can see, like, at each step of the project, you need, like, to vote, and the project becomes high risk. and high risk of being derailed, and it causes concern to Mr. Gallant and this committee. I have a lot of trust in the administration and in the judgment and recommendations they bring here at the council. And the council, the recommendation from the engineers and administration to continue with the multi-sport surface as is, since the funds have been secure in place, it would be really sad to change the direction of this project. The idea to add a roof like the multi-sport service is a good idea, but in my opinion, a good idea, maybe as phase 2 of the project. A second phase that could be done easily once the current work is completed. The next page, it's a letter from Mr. Roger Galland. He asked me to read this letter in the council chamber. This is the letter as he wrote. It's in English, so switch to English.
July 12, 2023. CIDC, all councillors and mayors, town of Shediac, in reference to outside drink. I wish to thank the town of Shediac, the mayor, its councillors, and MLA Jacques Leblanc, who helped us build this beautiful outside drink for the kids. I started working on this project 5 years ago with the help of Councillor Laura Galland, Councillor Raymond Cormier, who have always been there for kids, and my best friend Omar Leblanc, who has since passed away. Thank you also to Eugene Bridges, who helped raise funds, and to committee members Patricia and Germaine and Paul for their help and support. Someone else to give credit for working for the children of this town is Raymond Lirette and Councillor Sylvie Boudreau in continuing every year with the Modest Leger kickball tournament. I coached for 25 years in Shediac. I coached for 25 years in the Shediac minor hockey, and I organized tournaments from 1972 to 1988 with the help of volunteers. I did this to help minor hockey. Too many kids are in the streets with nowhere to go, and that is why I wanted to do this project. I hope we can do this soon. We can bring ball hockey tournaments for kids. We can men and women leagues, skating, a ringette, and even something for the schools. We can also have rollerblading. This project will benefit the whole region surrounding Shediac. En finissant, en conclusion, I hope councillors and the mayor will support this project. We have a good town manager in Victor Boudreau, and I am sure he will help in any way he can. Let's just hope that everyone can work together to support this project. Thank you, signed Roger Galland. Merci, M. le Maire.
Merci, Conseiller O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Councillor O'Brien. Unless there are other questions, so we're going back on the initial motion of the last meeting, be it resolved, like to award the construction of the multi-sport. So be Camille Leger Construction Limited at a value of Councillor Harry.
So I've unmuted my mic. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. I just want to make a few comments.
Sure.
I will not be supporting the motion, primarily because I believe that what exists today can be salvaged with some of the creative input of our staff, something like a piece of equipment that can remove heavy volumes of rain as required. And also the issue of having a border to contain ice for the winter can be addressed. All of those items, in my view, can be done for quite a bit less than 1.7 million or even 750,000. $750,000 would bring us, I think, 1.25 kilometers of sidewalk. And as Councillor Glenn Cormier mentioned, we do have a lot of capital projects and capital needs before us. And I believe, as I say, for two reasons. One is I think that what we have in place can be salvageable, can be remedied, and can be moved on to the uses to which it was originally intended. I don't think the public would be too impressed with us spending another $750,000 to undo what we've already done. And that's primarily my points of view. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McEnroy. Now, just to bring back, just to
bring you back. So the motion is still on the table, is to award like the contract to demolish like the existing concrete surface and rebuild it with drains as proposed. So I will just continue to read it, just to, I want for people around the table be clear on what they're voting, because it can look a little bit weird, like depending on the circumstances. Let be resolved to award the following contract with construction of the multi-sport surface to the lowest bidder, Camille Léger Construction Limited, at a value of $746,687.76 net interest included. The funds will be drawn from the following amount: 128,290 special project infrastructure sport, where there is $225,018 available out of the original $300,000 after the engineering fee, and the remainder will come from the capital reserve fund. So it was moved at the last meeting and second. That's just like to refresh your memory. So to award the contract, we say vote yes. To to refuse, you vote no. Simple. Okay. So all those in favor, signify by saying aye. To award the contract. One yes. Against.
Against.
So the resolution has been defeated. Thank you. So for the other items, like we mentioned during so these are not items on the agenda. The administration heard us during our discussion, so they'll be able to look at the other options to see how much it would cost, and to come with a recommendation with the council if necessary. Councillor Paul Boudreau. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, for the respect around the table. It's very important, but could we make a motion to make this file goes forward? No, we can't. So the point was only that emotion table, it was only to press pause at the last meeting and then go back. So this will close the discussion. So how the administration will be able to make this file, we're talking about to purchase equipment and other items. So I agree, if it's not, I don't like the not unofficial, but because we have money in the budget for this, I would like to see the investment, the maximum investment for this very functional Mr. Bright, for the machine, yes, we have some machine we saw in the video, and those machines also are stronger. It looks like a little Zamboni, but it's more expensive. But I think it could do the job. But all of this to say, how can we sponsor the council members? They're interested. What would be the solution? We could ask the administration, but we need a motion so they come back to the council. So once there is a plan, essentially. So I agree with this. Thank you. So we'll let them do their work to bring something that they reflect on. Next one. Thank you, Mr. CEO. I think you end up saying what I said. So the message is clear, that the council would like to proceed with the other way. So there's something we could do with the budgets, internally as the administration, and something if we have to go back, either to get additional budget or additional mandates, we will do so. But it's clear what the willingness of the board, the wish of the board is. Councillor Mbouto and then Councillor Bo. Just for Paul's comment for the vacuum. Did we get a professional bid how it would work? It's Councillor Brian, that's what the administration will work on to see how we can do this. And yes, we want more than an opinion. I have a good idea today, but I'm not the expert. So cancel a contract. There was a project that was soon to be an opinion that the vacuum could do the job because a professional opinion, yeah. And we said we'll ask the administration to come back to us if we see the interest from the council members, and they can give us some information. But my point, I want to make my point. We did not get professional opinion with this vacuum. I know it's coming, but we did not even make a decision to cancel a project to not with a bunch of volunteers. We raised like $300,000 for this project. Now, just we turn around and we just throw it in the water. It doesn't make sense. Thank you, Councillor O'Brien. Councillor Peterborough. So my question, to see if we could have the kids use the surface as soon as possible. I don't know how it could work. To organize tournament, it takes a long time. I'd like to see if we can do something to have it this year, but I don't know. Do we need a special meeting? The administration will come back with their recommendation to notify the committee that finally they would be able to plan some tournaments this year, but the administration will be able to get back to us once they did some work and they're confident in some kind of a plan they can present to the council if we see some interest, and then it could be we could give the information to the the special meeting if we need to approve some funds, but as our CEO said, well, we have a budget for this already. We have $300,000, $225,000 left. So if the amount is within this, it might be very well possible to put our foot on the pedal and organize it. And they can keep us informed. And that's what it looked like. And if we really want a special meeting just to be informed, to discuss it, it's something we can do. It's possible. Thank you. So, 5.2, the net zero municipality phase 2. So this is with the smart grid committee. So I was able. So this is a project involving NB Power, Siemens Canada. They're a private partner. The funder is the federal government through Natural Resources Canada, the National Research Council. There's over 400 residential participants participating in this research project with a combination of various technology, and some with solar energy, some it's only thermostat, smart water heaters, etc. So based on the success, once the deadline to participate to a program, several actors were interested, and of course it's a program that started in the former borders of Chediac. So it was before the amalgamation to Chediac-Québec-Coteau. They wanted to participate, but they did not have opportunity then. So maybe with phase 2, we could go in that sense. So as of now, we started some discussion, and things are starting to move around. That's why we can bring this information to the municipal council. So the goal, as we mentioned, we met with the Siemens Canada president, Faisal Qazi, in February 2022, a really nice guy. So they are the main sponsor. And the ultimate goal would be to become a net zero municipality. Essentially, all our energy consumption would be done through renewable energy, various different means. It's not only one solution. You do several at once, and you're able to do so. They gave us an example, a city in Germany, and they reached this status. I will not try to pronounce the name. It's a different name. It's something Chediac could aspire to, because we already started, and because of the interest, it would be a national premiere. That's it. So economic development director is working hard on this project, when he's working on development. So he provided us a document that gave us some some of the guidelines, so we'll let him present as he wish. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I think also you really specify it also like the process, so why we are here this evening. So phase one will end, I think it's the fall 2024, so we'll start to see the results of the research project. As when we started phase one, like we did a similar exercise to phase two. So I think the timing would be right, like at least for us at the administration, it's an opportunity to look at the opportunities to bring like a phase two. In order to do so, we need like a plan in place with some guidelines to follow it by sector, because to become like a net zero municipality, it's not done overnight, or it's not done in 1 year or 2 years. Like it's a long-term plan. And in order to do so, we need like a good plan, like that includes the municipal aspects, commercial aspects, secondly, residential aspects. Like we need to have a good plan in place, and that's what we're. So that's why we're making like a funding request to. So we put all the costs together at the table. So we have partners, Siemens. They're all already partnered with the phase one. It's a worldwide company, and they're very knowledgeable in that field. And they have many people on their team specialized in that area field. And we need this type of resources. And it would be like available if Siemens gets on board. You will see also a partnership. SGIN, it's a national corporation that was put into smart grid innovation network, and they're specialized like that to bring resources to municipality or commercial project to ensure to do like a transition, like for green and clean energy. And for those projects, they're sponsored by the federal government, so they want to become partners. As you know, like the municipality of Chediac, we have a team, but it's not a great big team, but we need those additional resources. So in order to get the resources, it's easier for us to work with organizations that are working with this to hire like an engineer specialized in that field. So this way we have access like to all the engineers. So that's why we're taking this route. So I don't know if you have any questions. So I wrote. I told you like the letter we sent to ACOA. So it's quite clear, like all the steps we put in place. That's why we're looking for funding. And you'll see like there are two boxes to be determined, because we did not want to bring a funding request, like what would be like the share of the municipality, to know like what we have in terms of what we get from government and what we will get. Then we can bring it then like to make a decision for phase two. So you will have the information to what is the financial involvement of the municipality. This evening it's for information purposes. We wanted not to go too far with this, like before you're aware. Thank you. The only thing I will add is even if the solar farm was activated, was switched on at the end of February, maybe February 27, 28. And this power could not make the announcement like in February. So we tried to get the date in June, so I don't think it went through so well. But it looks like it might work, but when you're trying like to get like a federal representative, provincial representative and all, sometimes like it gets realized it's good, but 2 days after it doesn't work anymore. So we'll keep you posted, like, but we're hoping we'll be able to make this announcement and at least like to get some corporation in future. Councillor Lacombe, thank you. We're talking about like a cost of 244,000. Is it the real cost or is it like is it an estimate? No, that's a real cost. We got like the quotes. But we're right now we're looking for funding. So the funding partners will be identified. We'll go back to the table more or less, fill in the blanks. Like,
Contribuer la différence.
will contribute at the difference. So it's quite fair. So I think it's a very good program, Mr. Mayor, but it's good also like to hear that the municipality expanded in terms of superficie. So if there's a plan for phase two, I'm hoping like the regions from outside of the former municipality will be considered. And I think it should be the case, but what is the timeline then? So once you receive like the 300, what is the timeline like? Not for the project, like to see, but to get the infrastructure to do the study, like to say, well, we have a study. So here is like the step number 2, and it will cost millions and blah, blah, blah. And so what is the timeline? That's a good question. And I got this conversation with the people. It's 6 months or more, like, because it's a major plan. And in the category, like, we'll not be able financially, like, to attack like an ambitious plan as we want, like to become the first net zero community in Canada. But if we start by sectors, well, I think that's what we want as a plan. Mr. Executive Director, I just want to give like a quick comment. It's just a question to manage expectation and everything that was said, but the research project is something that was funded, like, and it will end. So this research project will end. So the idea to think like there might be other houses that will participate in the actual program, it will not happen like this. So the research project will be done soon. But what we want to do, like, through our economic development director, so how can we capitalize like with the positive attention and the positive results we had to continue with this process, like to possibly become the first net zero municipality? It could mean maybe like that we will develop our own incentives over several years, but I did not want everyone to think like that. When we're talking about phase 2, it's not like a carbon copy, but it could be like a multitude of different things. Like phase 2 might possibly be some contributions from the provincial department. So the point I would like to make, like today, at the federal level, we have receptive people maybe that are interested to help us. It's like the clock is ticking and seems to be less and less. And if possible, we should capitalize on monies we could get now, like that might not be available like later. So that's the point I wanted to make. There's always a cycle that's going on with different players. Councillor Paul Boudreau. Thank you, Danny. Thanks for the information. So the ESS benefit multi-purpose center with the new Villa Providence, this is a big user, so it's brand new. Is it something that we could benefit, like to promote? Like now they're in, I don't know, they're in a construction phase. Is it something like that, this project? I think the executive director, like, this project is really to create a plan. It would give us like a path forward, like, so we can become the first net zero municipality. We did not identify like the research project that identified like some buildings was set investment, like put it with the return on investment and the return of the carbon footprint, like phase one. The phase two project, it's not a research project. It's how we go in the net zero direction. But to answer your question, any big major commercial project, they have access to existing projects like federal programs, the clean energy funds, they have and power some programs, so they already have access, and all like the engineering firms and all like the agricultural development, they're all aware of this problem. Will the villa go in that direction? It's up to them to decide. It's up to each developer to choose like the source of energy. As a municipality, like we have to keep in mind, like is it thing that I have no idea, but there will be a plan. The plan will be done, and that plan will have to be adopted by you. And
juste pour donner une idée, notre projet de recherche, on participe dedans, puis
so
on sait qu'est-ce que les composantes.
we know, like
En discussion en 2014.
the discussion started
De verglas.
during like a nice storm.
Mais on est rendu en 2023.
We're in 2023.
Aider à accélérer rien.
So the pandemic certainly didn't help. It caused a lot of headache. But we need some time. It's something, it could be on our radar. At least the plan will give us like our roadmap that will tell us like step 1, 2, 3, step 15. Just a quick comment, Peter. So yeah, he has an e-bike. So, and then we know that to plug it and charge it, charge the battery at his home. By the end of August, we'll in theory like a. Was just for information purposes. So I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sylvie Collet-Boudreau. Thank you. Councillor Lloyd.
I would like to ask Mr. Mayor that the administration come forward at our next meeting, which I believe would be late August, with some information on the new potential school for our region. I know it is summer, but I would like to hear what you have heard at that time as point number one. Point number two, I would like to also hear any information that you have received on the Squiduk Industrial Park. I think both files are extremely important to the region, and I think we have to keep the pressure, if that's the right word, on those to be on those two subjects. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Donc, there you go. Parfait. Donc, ça, c'est la fin de nos émissions pour aujourd'hui.
So this is the end of our meeting. So you have to keep, you have to stay for the in-camera meeting.